Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door. Get in the shot. God, I'm all askew. And join us for the Championship preview show for round 31, which you'll have probably noticed I'm not very organised or ready for. We will be going for all of the 12 games. And in about 1 second, I'll have typed them all out in the running order. Press that button, and there you can see what we're going to talk about in the right order. Preparation, everybody. Goodness me. Right. Here we go. Let's do the show properly now. Championship preview. Round number 31. We're going through all 12 of our games. And because we're silly, we will be predicting the outcomes of each of the games. I need your help. We'll go through from top to bottom, and you can let me know your predictions as we go. I will let you know mine, and all will be revealed as we go. Let me know that you can see me and hear me loudly and clearly, and we will begin. First of all, let me just give a quick shout out as ever to our sponsor, the Donovan brothers, in loving memory of Michael Donovan of South East London, lifelong Millwall fan, admirer of this show. Thank you to the Donovan brothers for their sponsorship. They get involved over on Patreon. You too can do just that. And after this show, I'll be doing my condensed, quick predictions, the only place in the known universe where you can get just the predictions, none of the chat. Lots of other good stuff over on Patreon. Q&A yesterday. Classics reviewed, all sorts going on over there. Go and sign up. Super Chat is a direct way of sponsoring at any point during the broadcast. First Super Chat becomes the king of the bin. And the easiest way to support the show and my work, it's absolutely free. Just hit the thumbs up button wherever it is you are watching. They always look the same. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, etc., etc. And if you are watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. Let's say hello to everyone, to Tom, Championship Pro, Carl, Noah, Liam, Mr. E, Barlio, Leeds 2021. Chris is here with stats. Beautiful. We'll get drill into them later. Ollie, James, Iain, QPR, Eli, Mark, Alex, I think. Have we got everyone? Signed up to Patreon. Thank you, Paul. Very kind. There we go. I think, have we said hello to everybody? There we go. Right. Shall we get into this? Here are your fixtures for this round of games. We will be all across it as ever on the channel. Tonight, we'll be watching along Watford versus Derby. That's the first game. Then in the Saturday Super Stream, we will take in the second half of Coventry versus Brentford. And then the 3 p.m s go Bristol City versus Barnsley, Cardiff versus Preston, Huddersfield versus Swansea, Millwall versus Wickham, Norwich versus Rotherham, Forest versus Blackburn, QPR versus Bournemouth, Reading versus Borough, Wednesday versus Birmingham, Stoke versus Luton. A good old run. 10 games on Saturday at 3 o'clock. Come and join us for that. And then I think we're going to do the review show on Monday. That was kind of what you guys requested last week. We're going to move it from Sunday to Monday. Give everybody a day to breathe. Right. Should we do this then, guys? First up, we'll go from the top downwards, is Norwich City versus Rotherham. Get your predictions in because I've been getting a bit confused when one game ends and another one begins. Right? Either Norwich, Rotherham, or draw, rather than home, away, or draw, because I get a bit confused and then sometimes I miss out some people's predictions. So just give me Norwich, Rotherham, or draw. Norwich back at it since the return of Buendia. Back-to-back wins for the Canaries. They are back to 2 points per game. All of their squad is fit. They are playing well and looking very good. 2 points per game with only 16 to play for the Canaries. 4-point lead from Brentford in second. More importantly, 5-point lead from Swansea in third is the current state of play. We can talk about games in hand as and when they get played, I think. Rotherham been in good form prior to back-to-back defeats for the Millers. We did the second half, or most of the second half of their game down at Bournemouth, and they went under 1-0 in that one. Previously to that, I think that must be the defeat at home to Cardiff. So difficult run of games, Rotherham, when you consider you're going to Bournemouth away and then Norwich away. Let's check the home and away state. You'd imagine Norwich's home form would be good, being they're top of the league. It's very good. Only one home defeat this season for Norwich. 32 points from 15. I say very good. I should probably rephrase that. It's excellent. Great job from Norwich at home this season. And Rotherham, was 3 straight wins away from home until the defeat at Bournemouth. But the 20th most accumulated points in the division. And you do have to point to the fact that other than those 3 consecutive away wins they've got recently, there's only been one other away win for them this season. They're still outside of the relegation zone. Paul Vaughan is a self-confessed Norwich fan, isn't he? What are you guys saying in the chat here? Norwich, 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 Norwich. There's always one. Well done, Dave. Draw. Norwich, 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 Norwich. Norwich by 1 as usual. Norwich has to be Norwich. Norwich. Edward says Rotherham here. Rotherham played well at Bournemouth. This is tougher home. And Will says Norwich. I think we're fairly unanimous on this one, and this is with full respect to Rotherham. We like Paul Vaughan. The loan signings have been good. Always make it difficult for everybody, but this is ex-Premier League team versus ex-League One team. Norwich in a nice moment, nice run of form. The star player is playing beautifully well as well. So I'm with you guys. Home win for Norwich against Paul Vaughan's Rotherham. It may be 2-1, like someone suggested, by the odd goal, but I think the bookies will take a lot of money on Norwich winning that one. Let's move on. Coventry versus Brentford. Give me Coventry, draw, or Brentford in that one. Brentford, 21-game undefeated streak, followed by 2 straight defeats. And that means they drop below 2 points per game. The reason I bang on about 2 points per game is, on average, over the past 10 years, 2 points per game wins you the championship title. So if you can do it, wherever you are in the season, if you're at 2 points per game, you're essentially headed for the title. And Brentford have just dropped off that now, 57 points off 30 games. Swansea behind them with the games in hand are actually at 2 points per game. Interesting now for Brentford, because they took Pinnock out in the last game and played Reed. I wonder whether he plays Pinnock and Reed in this one. It was Sorensen and Reed, and Pinnock and Sorensen. Might get our third different Brentford centre-half combination in 3 consecutive games, frankly. And frankly, Thomas Frank needs a reaction from his players there. I mean, Ivan Toney is still scoring. He scored in the QPR game. That turnaround as well. They were 1-0 up, lost 2-1. It's been the other way for Brentford recently, and they've been going a goal down and winning games. I would not be worried if I were a Brentford fan, unless this goes to 4 games without a win. Then you start to think, big slip. Can they get the victory in this one and right the wrongs of the previous two? It doesn't really work like that. And you don't get any points retrospectively. But Coventry, I'm worried about. I think we totaled 10 points in 12. So they've just dropped below that 1 point per game, hadn't they? Where you're looking for survival. Over a 10-year average, 45 points gets you survival in the championship. We're still figuring out whether this is going to be a high tide season or not. At the moment, there's the potential for it to be, but I'm believing it less so than I did about 2 weeks ago, put it that way. Let's have a look at the homes and aways. Coventry, a couple of hard games for them. They played Norwich at home in midweek. They have the 14th most points at home this season. Only one win in the last 5 there. 5 points from the last 5 at home is a point per game. Brentford's away form is excellent. Nearly 2 points per game for the Bees up until that defeat against QPR. They've got 10 points in 4. Shall we see what you guys are saying in the chat on this one? Coventry or Brentford? Do let me know. If you can hear a noise next door, we've got a lovely man just painting the bedroom next door, Mark. So you may hear a little bit of noise coming through from next door. What are we saying in here? Right, here we go. Brentford, draw. Brentford won't lose 3 in a row. Brentford, B's back on track here. Brentford. Draw. Brentford, Coventry look ordinary this week. Brentford, Coventry score, draw. We're fairly mixed here. Away, 0-0. That's a good point, actually. All the early kickoffs have been 0-0. That's very true. Coventry draw. Brentford, pitch will be a leveller. Draw. Coventry face Cardiff, then Norwich, and now Brentford after that. Swansea. Ouch. Might explain their middling form. I'm going to go for the bounce back. Away. A Brentford win. I am going for the Bees to bounce back after 2 straight defeats, and Coventry to start worrying. Maybe it's been a long run now of under a point per game, so may have been explained by those fixtures that someone pointed out in the chat there, that they've had a hard run, and we will get a trend upwards after this. But yeah, it's certainly a difficult time for Coventry at the moment. I'll go for Brentford. Top 2 to both win. Here we go. Huddersfield versus Swansea. Huddersfield or Swansea or draw. Let me know what you think in this one. Huddersfield they're on a much worse streak than Coventry for sure, aren't they? Huddersfield really struggling these past, since I don't think they've won in the new year. I think our friends at Second Tier Pod tweeted that they haven't won a game in 2021. Get your predictions in. Huddersfield versus Swansea. Swansea, brilliant. They're just, as I say, finely attuned, and Swansea win tight games, don't they? Huddersfield, what's the gap now? 16 places. Swansea beating Forest in the week. And if you were to add on 2 points per game to Swansea's games in hand, which would be fair, being that's their average, they would be promoted. Second place on points per game. They're the second best team in the league at the moment. But we all know, games in hand, you don't just get your points per game added, unless it's last season and you get COVID nonsense like that. Let's have a look at the homes and aways. Huddersfield are our home team. They had a really good home record up until the last 4, didn't they? I think they'd won 5 on the trot leading up to that, but only 1 point in the last 4. Horrible form, including that turnaround 2-0 up to 3-2 down against Wycombe. Swansea's away form, you'll take that, won't you? Look at that. Only 9 goals conceded and 4 wins in the last 5. Who did they lose to? Derby. We did that game, didn't we? Derby absolutely caught them right cold in the first half, didn't they? With 2-0 up. Excellent performance, actually, by Derby in that game. What do you guys think on this one? Can Huddersfield row something back here? Or are Swansea going to do what Swansea have done all season and be finely attuned and get the win? What are you guys saying here? Swans? Draw? Swans? 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 I don't think I need to read anymore, do I? You're very... There you go. There's one. William. Huddersfield win. Classic championship. Swansea's only lost to Huddersfield. Interesting. There you go. We won't read all of them out, but let's just go all the way down to there. Okay. I'll go with the chat then, which is a bit boring because it would mean the top three all victorious. It happened virtually the top half won. Actually, no, Brentford didn't win, did they? But virtually the top half won last round. But let's do it. Away. An away win for Swansea. Okay, this one's a bit more difficult to call, or is it? Watford versus Derby. Get your predictions in. Watford of the sublimely brilliant home record against Derby, who are really on a good run of form at the moment. There is your league table. Watford up there in fourth, 7 points in 3 back-to-back victories after a sticky little run, change the system, 4-3-3, Sarr and Sema with João Pedro, 6-0, 1-0 the last 2 games. I think it was Deeney back on the bench. We'll see. We'll see when he's back in the starting lineup. Derby, just really, really good form, basically for about 14 or 15 games now. They've been in serviceable, sort of mid-table, even higher form than that, haven't they, since Steve McLaren came back and joined Rooney and Rossinia. The difficulty there, though, is look at that home record for Watford. 35 points in 15 games. That's so good, isn't it? Only 2 defeats, but it's the 11 wins in 15 that will, that'll push a promotion bid, however bad your away form is. Let's look at Derby's away form. 12th best in the division. Spotty, though. A win against Birmingham, a defeat against Wednesday, a win against QPR, a defeat against Rotherham, a win against Wickham. So I dare say some of those wins have come against possibly lower ranking teams. Let's see what you guys are saying. Derby good defensively, aren't they? Could be a low scorer. I hope not, because we're doing it on the watch along tonight. Draw, home. Draw, home. There's an away win in there. Watford, draw. Watford. Draw. Derby, smash and grab. Draw, home. Watford 1-0 with a penalty. You love to see it, don't you? It's a standard Watford win this season. 2-0 Derby, 3-2 Watford. Watford. Despite our record against top teams, I reckon Watford will have too much for us. Tuesday was brutal. Yes, Derby did sneak in against Wickham, didn't they? The Will Hughes Derby. I like that a lot, Paul. Always get those in when we get to a game. Watford there. Both sides cancel. Oh, Deeney's out for a while, is it? Okay, thank you. Home, board draw. Boom, boom. Yes, this is the watch-along game tonight. We'll try and get all of those down there. Apologies if you can hear any noise there down the microphone. I am gonna go for I don't want to be too predictable here. Draw. Let's go for some weird type of scoring draw here. Maybe Watford will have the game and Derby will get an equaliser or something like that. We'll see. Right, Reading versus Middlesbrough. Reading versus Middlesbrough. Get your predictions in. Paunovic back to winning ways with Reading, but that was in Dean Holden's last stand at Bristol City in the midweek. Michael Morrison scoring the goal of the season, according to most of the Reading fans I've spoken to. Borough got back to winning ways as well. In fact, look at the mirroring there. Last 4 games, they've both gone draw, loss, win. So some kind of synergy there between the two sets of results. Brilliant goal from Duncan Watmore in that game, wasn't it? Let's look at the homes and aways. I think Reading had to improvise a bit with their team selection as well. Didn't they? Reading's home form, 9 wins, 6 defeats. A little bit all or nothing, but 6th best in the league. You'll take that, won't you? Currently operating in 5th place, 6th best home record. Middlesbrough's away record is the 15th best in the division, maybe propped up a bit by a decent home record, certainly earlier in the season. That was the case, dropped off a little bit since. I think this is a hard one to call, so I'm going to go to the comments and let you guys lead the way on this one. Nigel Callaghan. Nice. Oh, Kenny Jackett's all right. When I think of Nigel Callaghan, I think of Kenny Jackett. as well. Great Watford players there. Right, here we go. Reading, draw. Reading, Borough, home, draw. Reading, draw, Borough. Reading, draw. Reading, draw. Reading, draw. Reading, Moore and Puskas under 23s today, and today is Friday. So they're not going to be back in. Borough, Reading all the way, draw. Borough, Reading again. Apologies if you can hear any noise coming down the mic. We are busy in the house today. This is a tricky one. I think I'm going to go with Reading, but I'm not sure on this one. Home win for Reading. We'll go with Chris's logic that they never draw at home. And let's move on. Okay, this one is a tricky one to call. I know I said that about the last one. QPR, in form QPR, against Bournemouth, who are kind of in form as well, but don't have a manager, and it's a bit chaotic. May be a good time to play Bournemouth, and QPR obviously beat Brentford in the week. There's the league table. So you can see there the double defeats. That's the end of Jason Tindall. It's proper sacking season here, isn't it? 7 points in there. There's a cup win as well. Woodgate's won 3 in 4. I know they're not all league games, but that'll be 10 points in 4. Obviously, it's 7 points in 3 given the league form. So that's pretty decent enough. Did they take Rotherham to school and beat them easily? No, not really. QPR, since Austin re-signed, are really good, aren't they? 4 wins in 5. It might even be 5 wins in 6, actually. I think there's another win if we shuffle back one, and Rangers moving nicely away and out of trouble. And I dare say, I've suggested this a few times, is that now the actual bottom 6? Huddersfield, Coventry, Rotherham, Wednesday, Birmingham, Wickham. Is that the real bottom 6? Will the real bottom 6 please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. Forest, Derby and QPR just feel like they're going to just continue to sort of trend upwards, however gradually or not, for the rest of the season. Anyway, let's look at the homes and aways. We've got QPR at home in this one. Back-to-back wins. Only 5 home wins in this season. Bournemouth's away. Only 4 away wins for them. 1 point in the last 3. Do I smell another Rangers win here? What are you guys saying in the chat? There we go. Oh, that's good news because I can. QPR. Thank you, Mr. E. QPR. Bournemouth, QPR, draw. QPR, we're fairly mixed, aren't we? 1-1. The Mark Pugh derby. Nice one. Henry, draw, QPR, draw, home, draw. It's worth looking at that one because that's actually, Zach, that's actually a Bournemouth fan. Bournemouth poor the other night, according to some Millers. We did watch the last 4. I didn't watch the whole game, Lee. They weren't poor, but they weren't amazing, I would suggest. QPR Austin to do the business. QPR will smash down a few more of these. Boom, boom, boom. Apparently, Henry blew the Bournemouth board away in the interview. He's not confident he's the right appointment, but wow. I mean, you can imagine he's a fairly charming, charismatic guy, John, can't you? Who would interview very, very well. Anyway, I'm going to go with the chat. Let's go for QPR in this one. Why the hell not? Home. Rangers to win again, which would definitely facilitate a new managerial appointment. And obviously, it would be lovely for our YouTube channel here for it to be Thierry Henry. Maybe Bournemouth fans just want the best guy for the job. But we'll hope that the higher-ups at Bournemouth are able to pick the best man for the job and not just fall in love with Thierry Henry when he looks into their eyes in the interview. So Cardiff versus Preston, which we can most definitely call the Greg Cunningham derby because he's literally just signed from one team to the other. So I will take ownership of that one. Cardiff are in fine form, aren't they? Like 14 points from 6 games. Get your predictions in. Cardiff, draw, or Preston in this one. Cardiff flying up the table. 4 straight victories. I was a couple of games ago having to say helped by the ineptitude of the middle teams, but I've got to just hold my hands up and tip my cap, whatever cliche, to Mick. It's a great run, isn't it? And a great start. Well over 2 points per game for Mick. Preston are a bit all over the place, aren't they? I literally say that every week, though, don't I? Good win at Blackburn. I thought they're good value for that, apart from maybe Ledson may have been sent off. But hey, it may not have been a penalty against them in the first half. Swings and roundabouts. Let's look at the homes and aways on this one. Cardiff, not great. Guess where Mick turned up there? He's got a draw and a victory in his 2 home games thus far, against Millwall and against Coventry. So reasonably okay fixtures. And then there's the madness that is Preston. Look at that. 4th best away team in the division. So God knows what to do with that. 3 wins in the last 5. Only Cardiff, Brentford. Cardiff's away form as well. It's a bizarre division. Bizarre couple of teams, which makes it difficult to call. Which means, obviously, I'm going to go to the comments first before committing to this in any way, shape or form. What have we got here? Right, here we go. Cardiff. Preston, Cardiff, draw. Cardiff. Cardiff. Mick McCarthy can get Cardiff yet another win here. Tough one to call. Cardiff. Sheep v Lamb derby. Nice. Please no one take offence to that. I think Gazza means that in good spirits. Draw. Cardiff. Abel says Preston playing well despite defeats. George is late, everybody. Tell him off. Tricky one, but Preston's press won't work as Cardiff will lump it forward. Could be without Moore and Murphy. I am going to go for Alex Neil versus Mick McCarthy. Draw, which Mick will be perfectly happy with, and so will Alex Neil. So rest assured, if there's 20 minutes to go and it is level, it will end level. Here comes the Nathan Jones derby. Stoke versus Luton. Get your predictions in. Stoke versus Luton. And strangely, because it's the championship and about 6th place down to 14th has been really bad recently, Stoke are still not that far off the playoffs, despite, I think that was like the 2nd win in 15 in all competitions. Get your predictions in. Stoke at the Bet365, where they're rather hard to play against, I dare say. Can you do it on a cold February Saturday afternoon or whatever Richard Keys would have you say? So Stoke is still 7 points off the playoffs, but we'd need to see 5, 6, 7 games of convincing points per game, wouldn't we, to believe anything like that? Luton, I've praised Luton for, whilst the likes of Huddersfield and Coventry maybe have slipped off a bit, Luton still dot the odd victory in there. And look, Luton win every 3rd game, 10 wins in 29. It's one thing about Luton. When they're in a game, they can get something from it, can't they? Let's look at the homes and aways. Stoke, 19-4-19 against. They've only lost 5 home games, but it's bang average, isn't it? 22 points from 15. Luton's away form, 5 wins in there. This all feels very middling. 2 wins in the last 4 away from home for the Hatters. I'm going to plead the 5th. What are you guys saying here? The Norrington Davis derby. Yes, it is indeed. What have we got here? Luton Stoke draw. Luton Stoke draw. Luton Stoke draw. Luton Stoke home draw. Home draw. Very mixed this one. Draw. Stoke in the Jones. Tom versus Nathan. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. Obviously, Tom Jones is Stoke's song, isn't it? Delilah as well. Ian Wright's grandson signed for Stoke. Wow. I feel old. Stoke versus Luton. What am I going to go for? I don't think Luton will win. I think it's too awkward. Stoke will have a draw. I think Luton might score. Scoring draw. Let's move on. This is Bristol City versus Barnsley. the Marley-Watkins derby. If I'm getting too into the weeds there with dodgy championship references here, do let me know. But I assume that's why you're here, for dodgy championship, nerdy, silly references. Get your predictions in. Bristol City versus Barnsley. And if you want to take the form out of it and talk about the specific moment, you essentially have everything in Barnsley's favour here, don't you? Because Bristol City have just fired Dean Holden. All is not necessarily well. Their fans are not very happy with the chief exec. Some injury problems. Mawson's getting operated on. Martin's out for the season. Add everything up there. And then Barnsley kind of been quite good for the last 3 games, haven't they? Losing in the cup to Chelsea, but then a couple of good wins. Very good win against Brentford, and then beat Blackburn at home. So the narrative says Barnsley all day long, doesn't it? What do the numbers say? They say that there's only 3 points difference between the two teams. They also say both of these teams have lost quite a lot of games this season, haven't they? 26 defeats between the two teams. There's the home form for Bristol City, which obviously was quite good up until the last 2 games. 3 straight wins, still 9 points in 5. But new manager, not yet. No manager. It's going to be Downey and Simpson taking charge. Barnsley's away form, 7 points in 5. Considering some of the opponents they've had in that run as well. That's not the worst thing in the world. I'm going to go ahead of all you guys, and I'm going to suggest that this is a good time to play Bristol City away. I'm going to go for an away win for Barnsley in this one. What are you guys saying in the chat? Barnsley, harsh to say from a City fan myself. That's a tremendous joke. Barnsley. Well, the Bristol City fans are predicting Barnsley are going to win. The Lee Johnson. Okay. He's taken my Marley Watkins and raised it with a Lee Johnson. A couple of people have. Here we go. Barnsley away. They're all going Lee Johnson. Okay, so the Lee Johnson derby. You guys win. Barnsley away. Barnsley the dinosaur. What are you doing, Richard? Barnsley fan 2-0. Barnsley. Bristol City win, says nobody. Bristol City manager bounce. Stop it. The new manager bounce. Apathy versus energy. I like that, Chris. Barnsley, would like to say Barnsley, but they just sacked their manager. Come on. Stop it with the new manager bounce, guys. Josh Brownhill derby. Okay, nice. State of that Bristol City form. Bristol City, a bogey team for Barnsley. Go with the usual 2-2 draw. Actually, Josh, I went to a 2-2 game between Bristol City and Barnsley. Corley Woodrow scored in like the 99th minute or something, didn't he? There we go. Let's read a few. I've already gone, so I'll just Carlton Morris to score again. He's in good form, isn't he? Any more predictions? I've gone. There we go. Look, can I just give my final thoughts on the myth of the new manager bounce? It doesn't exist. It's just a regression to the mean after some bad performance. And it certainly cannot exist until a new manager is put in. Surely there's no sacked manager bounce, although that would be an easier thing to do because it'd be a smaller sample size. Because a new manager bounce, how long do you measure it for? Do you do the first game? What happens if they're watching for the stand or they're actually in the dugout? New manager bounce. Deary me. File that with the manager of the month curse and other football myths, I think. Right. Millwall versus Wickham. That would be the... What's that guy, McCarthy, that went from one to the other? Jason McCarthy, Jordan McCarthy? It's his derby anyway, unless someone can name me a better one. Millwall versus Wickham. Millwall are in good form, although all the Millwall fans I spoke to in midweek said it was a horrible watch between them and Birmingham. But that could just be Rowett versus Karanka rather than just Millwall not being very convincing. But Millwall in really good form. 3 straight wins and goes back longer than that. I think it's like 2 defeats in 11 or 10 or 12 or something like that. But they're finally getting the wins now. And like we pointed out the other day in the review, the fixtures are desirable as well. No top 6 teams in the next 11. Although Chris was telling us the other day, they've got a fair few injuries mounting up now to the Lions. However, their opponents are Wickham, who have only won 4 in 29 this season and are well below the point per game needed to stay safe. In fact, they're 9 points adrift of Birmingham, although that's not the number that matters. They're 10 points adrift of safety. Let's do the homes and aways. And Millwall's home record is really bad, isn't it? But look at the last 4 games, 8 points from 4. So it's really bad, but has picked up a bit. It was obviously even worse 4 games ago. Wycombe's away form is horrendous. Although, look at that. They won their last away game. But 8 points in 14 games is not the one, is it? If you're not the one. I'm going to go ahead of you guys. I'm going to go straight back this one. Home win for Millwall in this one. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Oh, nice. I like that. The Fred on your dimmer derby. Lovely stuff. Right, where are we? Did I miss a super chat? Someone says it's super chat. No, I don't know. If I've missed a super chat, I'm very, very sorry. There we go. Right. Millwall says Sophie. Millwall. Until we get to a Millwall fan, Alex. draw, Millwall. A bogey team. Maybe that should go in my myth. But do bogey teams exist? I don't know. David Nugent's just a bogey player of mine. There we go. Bad pitch, bit of a level. If Matt Smith starts 3-1, I do like Ainsworth, though. Rock and or roll. Worried about our injuries, but home. Jason McCarthy. Jordan or Jason? I think I might have even said both. Hedge my bets. Cooper, Leonard and Zahor all out, hoping Kieftenbeld back. Nice. Nottingham Forest versus Blackburn. No one's going to beat this. The Lars Bohinen derby. Am I having that one? The Lars Bohinen derby. Ask your dad. Forest versus Blackburn. Blackburn aren't in very good form, are they? Sorry if that's a very leading first comment. 3 straight defeats for Rovers. Feels like we watched them a couple of times recently as well. And I have to say, the last team selection from Tony Mowbray screamed to me, I don't know how to configure this squad, which is strange for a man as intelligent and experienced as Mowbray. But it's like Elliot Bennett returning out of nowhere, and Stuart Downing started, and Loney's Ahoy across the back. I don't know. I always look for the smoke signals with managers. The last smoke signal is swapping the goalkeepers. That's the literal last Hail Mary. So as soon as you see that, you know they're done within a week. But that didn't feel good. Blackburn still in 12th though. Forest, they lost at Swansea, but hey, if you're in a tight game with Swansea, you will probably lose it because that just is the way Swansea are this season, isn't it? But I think it's something like 20 points in 11 or 12 maybe. They're in good form for sure. Let's have a look at the homes and aways. There's Forest's home form. They don't lose many, do they? Only 1 defeat in the last 5, only 1 win as well. Blackburn, the away form, there's a couple of wins in there. They flat track Bullies away from home. Beat Borough after COVID and beat Birmingham, who everyone beats away from home. I don't have a very good feeling about Blackburn, so I'm going to go ahead of the chat. And I am going to back Forest. Home. See what you guys are saying. Do you agree with me? Ben Brereton's getting lots of mentions in here for the derby there. Lars Raw Bohinen derby. Nice. Draw. Were you there first? I thought that when I wrote down my notes earlier. So I'm taking copyright on that one, Paul. Forest. I remember Lars. Good player, wasn't he? Forest. Has Karanka gone yet? We'll talk about him in a minute. Home. 1. Forest. Forest away, draw, home. Forest, Matt Derbyshire, nice. Florists, 2-2, draw, boom, boom, boom. I think we are there, and I have gone Forest in that one. Right, good luck with this one. Big game at the bottom is Sheffield Wednesday versus Birmingham. Sheffield Wednesday are not in bad form, are they? They do get defeats, but they tend to follow them up reasonably quickly at the moment, do Wednesday. Sorry, I'm faffing. Have you got me on the split screen? Here. There we go. That should do it. Sorry, ineptitude. No, I was just saying that Wednesday, the good form runs a fair while now, doesn't it? Basically, since Pulis left, read into that. Did Pulis win his last game? I think he possibly did. I can't quite remember. Birmingham's form is just dreadful, isn't it? I can remember this. It's 6 points in 13 games, which is so bad. It's not true. However, let me give you the caveats. I'll show you the away form because I know Sheffield Wednesday are good at home. My point is that Birmingham are actually quite good away from home. 10th best in the league, 19 points from 15. Okay, you got back-to-back defeats in there on this current run. That's always the way with teams that are propped up by one side of the form. Once that goes, you're screwed. You got nothing, have you? Wednesday, look at the home form. Unbelievable scenes. 5 straight wins at home for Wednesday. I was trying to add some jeopardy, but maybe that says a Wednesday win, doesn't it? Although you would be worried if you're a Wednesday fan if that home form does drop off. It just can't claw back that 6-point deficit, can they? Difficult one to call. What are you guys saying in the chat? Well, there we go. What a player, the Trevor Francis derby. I'll give you that one for sure. First £1 million player in Britain. Scored the winner in the European Cup final. All those teams were really boring, weren't they? Remember his Birmingham team was dirge to watch, weren't they? But great player. Wednesday. Both to lose. Wednesday. Blues. 0-0. That's really Rotherham hat on. Please leave your bias at the door. Wednesday. Blues. Fairly mixed. Karanka will go if they lose. And that could well be the case, couldn't it? Home banker, Karanka. Home banker, Karanka. Finally sacked. Strange hunch for Birmingham. There we go. I think we've gone all the way down there. Jasper Carrot. Indeed. What am I going to go for? I know you want controversy here. I'm going to go for the unhelpful draw, which won't get Karanka-fied. It won't get Birmingham anywhere, and it won't get Sheffield Wednesday anywhere, and will be frankly unhelpful for all concerned. Right, that is our predictions for all 12 of the games. Thank you very much, everybody. We could not have done it without you, particularly a couple of them. The ones where I go to you first and just steal your ideas. Always helpful. Before you get off, please hit the like button as ever. Patreon is the way to continually support the channel. Thank you to those people who've done that already. I'll be going to Patreon in just a second and doing the condensed version of these predictions. We must, as ever, say thank you to the Donovan brothers, who sponsored the show in loving memory of Michael of South East London, a lifelong Millwall fan, admirer of the show. Thank you to the Donovans. We are back tonight at 7:30 for an absolute stunner of a game between Watford and Derby that's going to have a minimum of 7 goals in it. It's going to be amazing. Come and join us. I can guarantee goals. I'll refund you your money if there's none. No, I won't do that. There we go. It's free anyway. So come and join us for Watford and Derby tonight on the watch along. Thank you for joining us here. And all that remains for me to do is say over and out and see you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.